akonya tena si de na busafo mo amani tia se ensem ekoso ensem ne ebi ani susun ebi nso ani enya asem ketu ade ede ne de anyu na ewo mu na abusafo ehye ensem na ekokokoso na emum no ye be wakotie ne ewo ho na yaba.
Let's get into Dr. Bawumia and his campaign. So, Dennis, one of the newspapers reported that Dr. Bawumia says that Ghanaians should forgive him. What for particularly? And that the Constitution this morning also says that we'll maintain Bawumia for 2028, Ashanti region speaks. If we have seen a new polls by a new researcher, Dr. Evans Dia, I think, which is putting Kennedy Japan ahead of Bawumia, I suppose the global info analytics. I've put all of these three questions together. What is Dr. Bawumia apologizing for? One, if that is true and the newspapers didn't misreport it. And two, if you've seen the polls that says that the sample size that global info analytics used to put Dr. Bawumia as the front runner, the sample size is very small, and so he had increased the sample size and the numbers have changed. Have you seen the polls?
Let me respond to. Let me use his own response to deal with it. You see, as for the posters and all of that, I've always said it. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia pays very close attention to the issues behind it, and not necessarily the nominal numbers. Because as for the nominal numbers, data can be manipulated for whatever purposes. But what are the people saying? So any polls that comes up, we take it, we go through it. What are the people saying? What are the feedback? We also test it. And then where we need to tweak, where we need to improve, we'll do that. No doubt about it. Let me not go into the details of the polls. We have already started the journey. My godfather always tells me that when you are in the middle of the battle, that is not when you pause to think whether you want to fight or not. You're already in the battle is on. 31st January is just around the corner. I have absolutely no doubt in my head that based on the feedback we have received from the party people across the length and breadth of this country, the NPP as a party knows what to do. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the one the party is going to settle on. That is without doubt. I mean, I've been in this party in my short time for a very long while. I've been through the mill. There's no level in our party that I haven't served at. I know the psyche and the thinking of the party people. Could you, beyond all the noise, all the chaos, all the back and forth, the MPP delegate has one thing in mind. Let's win 2028. So eventually when he goes to the ballot and is going to vote, all the things we've discussed and spoke about do not matter. Only one thing, who it is that is on this ballot that can win us power in the next 1,184 days. That is 2028. And that's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, based on three things. Dr. Bawumia's conversation is based on three pillars. That he is the most prepared of all the aspirants. Is the most formidable of all the aspirants, and is the winnable of all the aspirants. And these three things are the things that matter to the party. That we don't have enough time. 2028 is just around the corner. Who amongst all the people asking us to make flag bearer is ready to take on the fight right from the get-go? That's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. For 16 years, he's been doing politics in this country at the highest level. None of the aspirants can beat him to that. He has been down this journey. He has seen the ropes of the work. He knows when to stop, when to run, when to pause. He knows what to expect. When he enters the strategy room, he's no longer going to wait and say, this is how we do it. He's going to say, the last time, this is what we missed. We did this, we got it right. This, we didn't get it right. Then we amend and we make progress. He has run 5 elections in this country, 4 of which he was a running mate, 1 of which he was the main candidate. He has the psyche and the mental fortitude to know what is ahead of us. Now, what makes him formidable is that we are going to go against an incumbent NDC party that is shameless in the abuse of their incumbency. The NDC is a very shameless political party. When they are abusing their incumbency, they have no shame. They are so raw.
I mentioned them for 8 months.
Oh, which 8 months? Are they a new political party? We know the NDC. Oh, why are we not in the same industry?
So this shameless.
Didn't they beat us at Ablekuma? Not. Did they beat us at Ablekuma? Not. Were you in Akwetia? If you were there, you saw you. When the gentleman was giving you that money, it was part of the monies they were sharing to people to come and vote. Let me just make the point. They are very shameless.
This eight people that the police said that had been charged and then they were fined, I never saw any document that says that they were NDC.
You're not going to even allow me to. You are going to digress. But let me.
No, but because
have you seen them? Have you seen these 8 people? Did you see them?
I don't have to see.
We were the ones beaten.
Okay,
I was there. Jackie protected me. In fact, if there was any, yes, I mean, I owe Jackie a lot of gratitude. I'll never stop saying.
How can she protect?
I've gone into that before.
Anyway,
so you see, if there was proper prosecution, I should be a witness. The person who was beaten was not even called into any matter to even pick any
because they pleaded guilty already.
But who are they? We know the people who beat us. We don't think it is these people.
Wow.
Yes, because we know the people who beat us, and the people who beat us, we know them. They are working freely. You see, there's something interesting going on in this country here. But the NDC and the few policemen who are helping them to do this, it will come back to bite them. That somebody is beaten. The person makes a complaint. The person never hears from you again. The next day, the person hears that some people have been prosecuted and they've been sentenced and charged to some 8,000 Ghana cedis or 6,000 Ghana cedis. You didn't call me to even come and identify whether these people are actually the people who beat me. But you say you have closed the matter.
But
think about it. You are a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer.
No, you are a law student.
But it was Telecas.
What was Telecas?
Of course, the North.
I'm telling you that the people they claim they have sent.
Have you seen the people?
I mean, they are not the ones who beat us.
Have you seen
No, but I know those who beat us. They are working freely.
Because it was a fine. They were not
working freely. They haven't been fined.
No, how do you know this?
Because they are not in court.
Because the people. Because
we know
these
them.
8 people. Have you seen them?
I'm telling you that. See. Forget about those I haven't seen. I'm telling you about those who beat me. I know those who beat me.
So I'm trying to let you understand that the tendency of you seeing them still is high because they were fine.
No, you are wrong. We know them. We know those who work at the ports. They are still there. Obviously, we are in the same industry. They are our friends.
Was the punishment supposed to get them to not to work at the ports?
No. The punishment was to make sure that I identified those who actually beat me.
The punishment is for you to pay a fine.
But they are working free. They are not the ones who are being fined.
Okay.
You get what I am saying? Okay. So we don't know those who are fined. You are not the ones who were beaten. We were the ones who were beaten. How do you go and pick people and say they beat Hawakumsi and Miracles? When Miracles and Hawakumsi have not identified to confirm whether they are the people.
Okay, I was the one that took you here. Let's come back.
Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia remains the most formidable amongst all of them because we have
opposed don't mean anything.
Because it means something. That's why I've told you that we are working with the information behind.
Okay.
That's what Nameze can be manipulated. And I'm of the view that it has been manipulated. I mean, when you heard Evans tell you that somebody was a smaller sample, let me leave that fight to the posters. They know what they do. Yeah, I have my views on that. Because Evans, for example, is on Ken's team. You understand? Evans is on Ken's team, like it's public. It's on Ken's team. So if you are on Ken's team, you and Mifa, you know me, we have a long-standing relationship. And then I'm running for president. And then you are with me. And then tomorrow you come with the polls. The polls should be questioned.
Okay.
Isn't it? But let's put that aside. In terms of the kind of incumbency or government we are going to face, the party needs a leader that will be able to deal with the situation. And Dr. Bawumia has been there.
Is the Professor Michael Quay reports public?
He has put himself in the line of fire for so many years in protecting the NPP and projecting us. And if I look at all those who are running, we need that person that can take on the NDC without looking back. And that's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And finally, and most importantly, is the winnable of all of them. You see, politics is science. Politics is social science as well. In this country, there is a certain electoral history, which is anytime you put yourself up for presidency for the first time, the likelihood that the people would make you the president or give you the mandate is low. And the reasons are clear. And that is why in 1996, when President Kufuor came for the first time, in spite of all the likeness that President Kufuor had, the people said, let's allow Rawlings to finish what he's doing. And then take time and hear President Kufuor. Then in 2000, guess what? In the year 2000, President Kufuor was coming for the second time. The person who was going to run against President Kufuor was a certain vice president, Professor Mills. Professor Mills, in spite of all his likability and everything, the people said, we've been listening to President Kufuor for a while. We've heard him for a while. You are coming for the first time. Shall we let you wait a bit and let's get President Kufuor to come in? Then in 2004, remember, so far so good. President Mills came again, but they said, well, Kufuor is on track. Let's get him to finish. In 2008, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who was one of the most popular politicians you can find in this country, long-standing member of parliament, very popular foreign affairs minister, came for the first time, was preaching free senior high school, a big thing for this country. But the country said that no, you just came. We have been listening to Professor Mills for a while. We've soaked and absorbed his vision for a while. Let's give him an opportunity to also deliver. Then we came in 2024. In 2024, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was coming for the first time, articulating his vision for the first time to be president. Even though he was vice president, that was the first time he was putting himself on the ballot. Guess what happened? The people felt that whatever it is John Mahama, His Excellency, has been telling us in the past 8 years, maybe it's time for us to get him to also deliver for us. Whilst we take time to listen and soak your vision.
What's the catch?
Hold on, to soak your vision as vice president. Now the point here is that the history of elections in this country clearly indicates that anytime you come as a first timer, the probability of winning that first time election is almost zero. And that when you come against a candidate that is coming either the second or third time, that candidate is likely to win ahead of you. This is data. Now, as a party, when we have data and science staring at us, we cannot go for assumption. So you hear the other aspirants say that we can win. Yes, me, I can win. I am popular. It is true. You could win. You could get 80%. You could get 60, 70% in the 2028 elections. But these are just your words. This is you telling us to assume and hope that you can win. As against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who has actually gone into the contest before, and we have an opportunity of going against an NDC candidate who is coming for the first time. That candidate has never ever run a contest. The NDC are changing their candidate. So the NPP's advantage in this election is that we get to present a candidate that has gone for an election before against an NDC candidate that is coming for the first time. What does the electoral history and political science tell us? If you bring a candidate for the first time against a repeat candidate, that candidate is likely to beat your repeat candidate. And that is one of the things that make Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia the leading candidate in this contest.
Has said that John Mahama was defeated by the NPP in 2016 by around 1 million votes. Now, it took him 8 years to win back. And then if you were defeated by 1.7, he says, how many years will it take? Isn't that a good enough question? You think your party people will be, sort of giving some mind to say, well, this might take us a longer time and therefore we need to change?
I think we maybe that is even a more reason why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is in pole position ahead of them. So let's work with that mathematics. If Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, you claim, has a deficit of 1.7 million, what it means is that you are admitting the votes you got from the previous elections. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Against you, who doesn't have any because you haven't run the contest at all, who has a longer deficit or a bigger deficit to fix? Obviously, it's you. Because you, if we're going to work on the assumption that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ran a contest and has 41.7%, and that assumption is correct and stands, then how about you who has zero and you haven't been tested at all? What you are asking us to do is to work with assumptions. An assumption that when we bring you, you could get more.
Because he believes he's popular, he has what it cuts.
Okay. We don't work with belief, we work with numbers. So if the NPP has a choice to make between a candidate that is asking us to hope and believe versus a candidate that has numbers to show and says that, listen, I ran one, I had 41.7%, I have a 9% gap to fix. If all things should stand constant, like they are doing in the mathematics, because with the mathematics they are doing, it means that they are holding all variables constant. If all things should stand constant, it means that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has a 9% gap to fix. Would you leave a 9% gap and go for an assumption which is starting from zero? And that is where the problem is. And that is where the logic in that conversation is. Do you know the gap Dr. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo came in 2012 elections with? And where it went to. So that assumption is completely flawed. It's a completely flawed mathematics. If we're going to use mathematics, then we should also pick the probability theory and say that probability of you who is coming for the first time from a zero winning the elections is way lower than the probability of somebody that has gone in before, tested himself before, and knows where the gap is. That conversation is extremely important.
Okay.
And it's a determining factor as to who it is that can lead our party going into the next elections. And I like that conversation because that conversation, no matter the scenario, puts Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ahead of all the other candidates.
What's your
one wonderful snowy and I'm day and 7 April. I was for India, not Macram.